travel safe.
How one top DJ doesn't let diabetes pull the plug on the party or his travels.
It's all a balancing game, pretty much. That's how I see it.
Surfs up in Senegal. And we're going deep underground in China to explore the world's biggest sinkhole.
Hello and welcome to Sinkhole in Senegal. It's a country that's well known for its landscapes, beaches, fantastic food and music, but it's becoming something of a surfer's paradise. And later in the show, I'll be putting my very modest skills to the test and riding a wave that brings people from all over the world. But first,
diabetes is on the rise, with 5.3 million people in the UK alone expected to be living with the condition by 2025. It can be controlled, but definitely has an impact on how people live and also how they travel. We joined BBC Radio 1 Extra DJ and recently diagnosed type 1 diabetic Reece Parkinson as he headed to the Spanish party island of Ibiza to see how he got on.
My name is Reece Parkinson and I love to travel, and working as a DJ gives me the opportunity to see the world. But 2 years ago I received a diagnosis, assigning me a potentially troublesome travel companion that I won't be able to shake for the rest of my life.
I just got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It flipping sucks all round.
Type 1 diabetes is when you have a pancreas and you watch him most likely have a healthy working pancreas which produces insulin, whereas mine, the beta cells got attacked and then stopped producing insulin. So when I eat any food, carbohydrates for example, the sugar in the carbs makes my blood very thick and full of glucose, which is not healthy. And I remember walking home from work one day and the vision in front of me was really blurry, and that's where I would start rubbing my eyes and try and clear the vision, but it wouldn't go. And that happened all in that week, and just kind of got worse and worse and worse. And that's when I went, okay, I need to go to the GP, and I handed in a urine sample, and I got a call the next morning saying, go to A&E now. Swimming trunks, shorts, DJ equipment, of course. This is the hardest thing. Just imagine that the whole set relies on these 2 USBs. Like, if these get lost. If the condition isn't managed with insulin injections, then things can get serious, and I could run the risk of having a leg amputated or even going blind. Meaning, when I'm traveling, I have a lot more to remember to pack than just my socks and swim shorts. So the sharps box for the injections, when I change them after every time using them now. The sensor as well, just in case the one on my arm gets damaged and I need a replacement. And then we're gonna take 90 needles as well. I'm a huge person when it comes to routine. Routine and diabetes, type 1 in my opinion, has to be sorted. You have to have a routine to give you the best levels, in my opinion. When you travel, you are completely at the mercy of everything else. You aren't in control. I'm making my way from London to Ibiza, where I've been booked to DJ at one of the last major parties of the summer season. There'll be plenty of late nights, alcohol and unhealthy food to contend with, and they can all have an impact on my blood glucose levels. So let's see how I get on. The first hurdle when traveling is airport security. Wherever I go, my insulin and needles need to come with me, even on planes. So whenever I'm flying, I have to make sure I have a letter from my doctor and any prescriptions to hand before boarding my flight. 2.5 hours in the sky and it's goodbye gloomy London and hello blue Spanish skies. The first thing I like to do when I go somewhere new is to have a look around, and I've found a way to do that whilst keeping my blood glucose levels in check at the same time, and that's by running.
For me personally, the best way to see a new place is to run. I'm not going to get an Uber or a taxi through the city to somewhere new. I'd rather run to it. You see all the streets that, you know, are not just the motorway to one place or not just the main road. And then in terms of my diagnosis, running just balances out my levels so well. It's the best thing for it. You wake up in the morning, the adrenaline from naturally waking up, your blood sugar levels just go up instantly. Then you're looking at what you're going to have for breakfast, whether it's fruit or oats or whatever. All that stuff contains a lot of carbs. I can have that, then go for a run, as long as it's like a 4 or 5 mile or longer, kind of consistent pace, longer run, and it just naturally takes it down to the right levels. It's like the perfect medication for me that doesn't involve needles.
Today's run has taken me to Vedra. Legend has it, this rocky outcrop is the gateway to the lost city of Atlantis.
And like the best thing about this, which is different to all the other side, which has its moments, don't get me wrong, I'm a DJing here, I'm going to be a part of that culture, but this, in my opinion, is like the truth of Ibiza. And the best thing is you can't get a cab up here, you can't get a taxi up here. Not everyone comes up here, you got to hike or run up here. You know, I ran and I've now earned this. I've earned this.
Later that night, my girlfriend and I are meeting up with some of my friends from the UK who are in Ibiza for my gig. And we've got a lot of catching up to do.
Do you still like enjoy a night out as much as you did before you got diagnosed? Or is it different now?
Yeah, I think so. It's still like as fun, obviously.
So is there anything that you've cut out of like completely, or is it just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna have these in moderation instead of like how I used to eat?
Yeah, so it could be like say like a pasta or a pizza, or like even tonight, just had a sandwich, but like a few sandwiches just because the bread in it I knew would last longer throughout the night. So the alcohol might go and come back down, but knowing that I've had the bread, which is a longer lasting carb, it should that will start rising when the alcohol's coming down, it like balance itself out. It's all a balancing game, pretty much, that's how I see it. The next day, it's time to do some work. I'm heading to the location of my gig, the Ibiza Rocks Hotel. But after a good old catch up the night before and having more alcohol than normal, I'm feeling a little worse for wear. After the lack of sleep, I'm riding on adrenaline. This 45-minute DJ set sees me supporting some of the biggest names in the European dance music scene. So I have to be on top of my game.
So we're about to go out on stage. We literally got 5 minutes until the start of the set. Just check my levels, and 11.7, which is pretty high, but the risk is if you inject yourself now, there's a high chance it could go too low during the set, and then I'll have to down all of that juice. Isn't the end of the world, I'm gonna die. But yeah, just from like a perspective of always being in control of it, this is one of those moments that it's kind of got control of me, you know.
My name is Reece Parkinson, BBC Radio 1 Extra.
The gig begins and I am loving it. But my levels are slowly beginning to climb. Mate, done. 13.1, all right, it's climbing. I am gonna inject myself now. So let me give myself, let's say 3. 3 it, I give an extra 1 for luck.
Over 9 million people have type 1 diabetes globally. I'm still learning to live and travel with this condition. But what this trip has taught me is wherever I go in the world, type 1 will always be there with me. It's a case of knowing not everything will be perfect all of the time. But if I treat myself with kindness, then there's nothing that will stop me seeing or doing anywhere I decide to visit.
Well, all of us at the travel show wish Reece the very best at managing his condition, and we hope to see him playing loads more back-to-back bangers at gigs around the world in 2023. And although the party season may be done and dusted for another year in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere, the festival season is just heating up. Taking place in New Zealand is the Rhythm and Vines Festival. It was started by a group of university friends, and this year marks the 20th anniversary of the festival. Situated on the Waiheke estate in Gisborne, the 3-day festival runs from the 25th to the 31st of December. Sticking with New Zealand, the World Buskers Festival is returning for its 30th edition from the 13th of January. Held in the city of Christchurch, street performers from all over the world flock to New Zealand's South Island to show what they can do. Africa Burn is the African equivalent of the world-renowned Burning Man Festival in the USA. The event has been running since 2007 and grows bigger each year. It will take place in South Africa between the 24th and 30th of April 2023 at the Tankwa Karoo.
Stick around because still to come on this week's travel show.
A natural wonder that has fascinated experts for decades.
So don't go away.
This week I'm in Dakar, the busy, buzzy, noisy capital of Senegal. What you might not know about this city is that it lies at the extreme western point of the African continent.
Look at that, they've put a ship right on the tip. Run up here. Nice. There's a boat, some people swimming, or actually I think they might be diving. But apart from that and the little lighthouse over there, there is nothing. All the way to the Caribbean, well, unless you count Cape Verde. But on mainland Africa, this is the most western point. And the waves are coming from the Atlantic and just hitting the western shore, and they look so inviting. I mean, look at those, they're just perfectly formed.
And those conditions have produced, so they say, some of the best surfing in the world. A 5-minute boat ride north of Dakar, Ngor Island has a wave that people travel from everywhere to take on. It's called the Ngor Ride.
I really liked, being here. People are just so friendly. The surf is also amazing. Surfers are really cool in the waters. There is no localism, everybody respects each other, and so that's a very good feeling about being in Senegal.
So did you know about the Ngor Ride before you came?
Yes, I first tried to do my little research. I read a lot about Ngor Ride. It's mainly reef breaks here, so even if it's windy, you will still have a few waves working, and here it's quite consistent. As well, you might have heard about the sea urchins, so everywhere there is rocks in Senegal, there is sea urchins.
So I can't help but notice that you're nursing a sore foot over there.
I am indeed, yeah.
Is that a sea urchin?
It was Ngor Ride last night. It was, yeah, the wave's really good, but ended up kind of jumping off the board at one point, yeah.
Oh no, did it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt quite a lot. I had about 7, I think. There was one massive one like this, and I literally just like hobbled out the water.
And until recent years, surfing was largely seen as the province of expats and foreigners, not locals, and especially not local women.
And some people are trying to change that perception, and one of them is this way.
Hadjou is Senegal's first female professional surfer. She works with a US organisation called Black Girls Surf to get the next generation into the water.
We are Black Girls Surf! We are Black Girls Surf! A lot of black people think they cannot go to the water for surfing, and they can do it. Everybody can surf it. It depends on your size, long, short. Everybody can do it.
Everyone can surf.
Everybody can surf. Everybody can surf.
Hadjou's a real trailblazer here. She's fought her way into a male-dominated sport. Even her family were against her in the early days.
My family, where I'm from, they never see a girl surfing, and they think surfing is just for the boys. And I say, I have to go. I want to surfing. I want to be the only girl in Senegal like surfing, and only girl who can representing Senegal, Africa, and every black woman in the world.
The girls here are 4 to 16 and they're certainly not afraid of the sea. I've been surfing on this beach for several years now and feel totally outclassed.
Et c'est quoi qui vous a fait vouloir commencer le surf?
C'est une passion aussi. On a vu que Hadjou était la seule fille au Sénégal qui pratiquait du surf. Et nous nous sommes dit pourquoi pas nous aussi.
Pourquoi est-ce que toi tu as commencé le surf?
C'est une passion. Parce que nous nous sommes dit pourquoi pas faire comme elle. Pour aller à travers le monde, découvrir de nouveaux endroits. C'est pour ça qu'on a décidé d'entrer dans le club.
Et quand vous êtes sur la vague, ça vous fait comment?
On se sent libre.
Right, it's time to see what all the fuss is about. I've been practicing for the Ngor ride and I'm in good hands here. Hadjou has agreed to take me out and give me some tips. We've picked a time when the waves are slightly flatter, but the main hazard is avoiding the sea urchins, which lie just a couple of meters under the surface. The attraction of the Ngor ride is the consistency rather than the height. The opportunities come again and again, and you can see Hadjou and the girls make the most of them. For me, it's more of a mixed bag.
Wipe out!
Next up, we are heading to China to explore the world's largest sinkhole. Formed centuries ago by collapsing caves and underground rivers, teams of explorers have sought to understand this place's many mysteries for years.
"小寨天坑的深度是660多米，体积是130多百万方。到天坑走一趟，基本上要大半天的时间。但是在天坑下面下去过后，真的才有坐井观天的这种感觉。"
The landscape here is an example of karst topography. That means sinkholes, caves and underground streams are common. Experts believe the sinkhole was formed by water flown into the underground rivers from a high altitude, which caused cracks in the landscape that stretched across 37 kilometers. This slowly eroded the limestone rock, and Sojai Tienkeng gradually developed.
中英探险队第一次到奉节来的时候，他们在天坑利用探险的时候，当时都请我当向导。
In 1994, the team led by experts Andy Evis and Ju Showen started exploring the sinkhole and its many caverns.
What the Himalayas are to climbers, China is to cavers and speleologists.
Definitely gone down, hasn't it?
In '94, we had an expedition which went downstream from Shaojie and explored the cave downstream. And bear in mind, we are cave explorers. What turns us on are huge, spectacular caves. Spectacular tienkens are pretty good, but they're not as good as the wonderful caves. Upstream in Xiaojie was more of a challenge because it had all the water. That was decided that that was the ultimate cave to explore upstream.
Right, I'll see you later.
后来他们在天坑里面呢，这探险家呀，就一个是从天坑的来水洞有100多米高一个大洞进去，走了1000多米，然后从储水洞下面呢下去200多米，走了4000多米，从迷宫河里钻出来了，基本上把这个天坑里面的储水洞钻通了，走了10年，大概走了6、7次，每2年来1次，到最后都还没走通。
Exploring the underground river is very difficult. It's very tiring. It's very dangerous. Swimming in fast-moving water is not easy. So that's why we haven't succeeded in going all the way through.
但是有的学者也认为，小寨天坑最初的形成会不会有陨石呢？所以在没考察、没有断定之前，就这样完全说是小寨天坑是由流水造成的。
Zhao is hoping for more discoveries about the sinkhole.
天坑呢，它现在还有很多的秘密没有揭开，所以我希望更多的探险家、科考家在天坑地方来科考探险。
That's it for this week's show. Coming up next time.
Our day is in Volterra, Italy, for the famous Palio di Cacci, a cheese race come historical reenactment, and takes on more than he bargained for.
In the meantime, check us out on the BBC iPlayer for more recent travel adventures, and don't forget to follow us on social media. But for now, it's goodbye from me in sunny Senegal, and see you soon.